Hello everybody and welcome back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm really excited to be bringing you this evileyekandicuff. This is something I've been wanting to make a tutorial on for a while now just because I think these are so cute and they're so much fun to make. Alrighty, now for these types of tutorials, I normally don't like telling you guys exactly what I use for candy cuffs just because everyone's wrist is different. You guys have heard my rant a million times, but if you are new here, I'm going to give you what I like to use measurement-wise. This might not be exact. My math might be off. I'm only human. But this is what feels the most comfortable around my wrist, so if you would like to follow exactly along with what I am doing, these are the materials you will need. You're going to need around 40 inches of a 1mm stretch string. Today I'll be using a corded elastic. You're going to need around 110 pony beads. 40 of those are going to be for your eye color. 25 are going to be for black, so that'll be for the pupils and these like, I guess I'd call it like borders. And then 45 white, and that'll be for the actual eye piece itself. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Now today we are going to be building an xbasecuff. To get started with this design, I am going to be adding on 4 white beads onto my string. Just like that. I'm going to add on 2 black beads right after that. And I am going to continue building up this pattern until it feels comfortable around my wrist. So let's go ahead and keep building this up. So I have my 4 white beads and my 2 black beads. Okay, so for my friends following along at home with me, this is for me what feels the most comfortable. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of white and 5 sections of black. Now you can make your cuff as long as you want. You can make it as small as you want. The pattern just needs to continue, if that makes sense. So when I take my string and I go like this and the pattern is continuous, and that's what we want. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie this off just like how I would a normal candy single. Now, seeing as this is a candy cuff, we don't want to be incredibly loose about it, so we don't want it to be looking something like this. We want to give it a nice little medium tug. We do want it to hold its shape, but we don't want to go incredibly tight because then it's not going to fit on our wrist. And I'm going to be giving this about 3 or 4 nice ties, and for my plastic elastic users, you're going to want to do this about 5 or 7 times. Now with my string all tied together, I'm going to take the tiny tail and cut this off. Now I'm going to be reaching back for this long piece of string. I'm going to take my string and I am going to jump over to this white bead here. So I want my string to be sticking out of a white bead, just like that. So I want to make sure that in front of me, I have 3 white beads, and behind me, I have 2 black beads. Now, to get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build our first eye piece. So for me, I'm going to choose to do a pink evil eye. And I'm going to start off this pattern by adding on 1 pink bead, 1 black bead, so that will be for our pupil, and 1 pink bead. And this is going to be built just like a normal X-base cuff. I'm going to be skipping these 2 beads here and jumping over to this last white one. So just like that, I'm going to pull. Now, same thing for when we tied the base of our X-base. We don't want to pull it so tight to where it has no stretch, but we don't want to leave it loose like that. We want to pull it just right. Okay, so for my next piece, I'm going to be adding on 3 of our white colors. I'm going to be skipping the 2 black beads and jumping right into this white bead here and pull. I'm going to be switching back to my eye colors, so I'm going to be adding on 1 pink, 1 black, and 1 pink. And I will be skipping these 2 white beads, jumping over into this white bead here and pull. I'm going to be switching back over to my white, so let's go ahead and add on 3 white beads onto our string. Skipping these 2 black beads, jumping right into that next white one and pull. Going back to my eye colors now, so I'm going to be doing a pink, a black, and a pink. Skipping these 2 white beads here, jumping over into this white bead, so that last one on the row, and pull. Adding 3 white beads onto my string. Skipping these 2 black beads, jumping right in to this white bead here, and pull. Going back to our eye colors, so I'm going to add on 1 pink, 1 black, 1 pink. Skipping these 2 here, jumping over into this next white one. Adding 3 white beads onto my string. We're going to be skipping these 2 black ones, jumping over into the next white. And I'm going to add on a pink, a black, and a pink. Skipping these 2 white beads, jumping over into our next white bead and pull. And finally, to finish off this row, I'm going to be adding on 3 white beads. And I'm still going to be skipping these 2 black beads and weaving over into this white bead. But I also need my string to be sticking out in this direction through this black bead here. So I need to take my string, I need to weave it through beads number 1, 2, and 3. So weaving over just like how we have been, and weaving up through the pink and the black. And pull. Alrighty, now we're gonna start building up our next row here. So for my next piece, I'm going to be adding on 1 pink bead, and I will be adding on 2 white beads. And I'm going to jump over to this next point right here. So the one that's standing up, take my string, weave that on over, and pull. Now I'm going to start off my pattern by adding on 2 white beads and a pink bead, and jumping over into this black bead here that's standing up. Now, as we're pulling, our candy should be able to start standing up a little bit on its own. It's okay if it's not fully, that's fine. If you're using plastic elastic, it definitely will take a little bit longer for yours to start standing up, but our piece won't fully start standing up until we add on the last row. However, if you have completed this, and even when you take it and go like this and it still flops down, that means you were not pulling on your string tight enough, and that you do need to go back and re-tighten up that string, or else your whole cuff will fall apart and it will not hold its shape. Now, continuing on with our pattern, I'm going to add on a pink bead and 2 of our white beads. Jump over into this white bead that's standing up right here. And pull. I'm going to be adding on 2 white beads and a pink bead, jumping over into this black bead here that's standing up, and pull. Adding on a pink bead, 2 white beads, and jumping over into this white bead here that's standing up. Adding on 2 white beads and a pink bead, jumping over into the black bead that's standing up. Pink and 2 white. Jumping over into the white bead and pull. Doing 2 white and 1 pink. Jumping over into this black bead here and pull. 1 pink, 2 white. Jumping over into this next white bead that's standing up and pull. All right, now we're gonna finish this off by adding on 2 white beads and a pink bead. And I'm still gonna weave over into this black bead here, but just like how we were doing on the bottom, I need my string to be sticking out of this white point here. So I need to weave through the black, pink, and white. Alrighty, my friends. Now, like I said before, again, this is a really good place to kind of stop and check to see how your cuff is doing. If your cuff is not able to at least stand up on its own, just like this, and it is completely laying flat, no matter what you do, you have to go back and retighten up your string, or else your cuff is just going to be a jumbled mess. All right, now we're going to go ahead and close off our cuff. Now, to do this, instead of adding 3 beads, I'll only be adding on 2. So your string should be sticking out of a white bead, and I'm going to add on 2 of my black beads, and I'm going to jump over to the next point, just like that, and pull. So as you can see, those 2 black beads at the bottom here should be aligned. Now I'm right over top of our eyepiece, so I'm going to add on 2 white beads. And I'm going to jump over to the white bead that's standing up next to it, right across from that pink bead, and pull. For the entire cuff, it's going to be alternating black and white. So adding on my black beads, jumping over to the next point and pulling. And I'm going to continue this going all the way around the cuff until I get to the very last step. And then from there, I will show you how to tie off your cuff. Alrighty, my friends, I'm coming up on the last part of my cuff here. I'm going to go ahead and add on those 2 white beads, and I'm still going to be jumping over into that next point, except this time I'm not going to be weaving up through anything. So I'm only going to be weaving through this point. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie off my cuff. Do you see this tiny little loop of string here? I need my string to go right underneath of that. So I'm going to take my string, I'm going to go whoop right underneath these beads, and I'm going to kind of weasel its way over. This will create a big loop. I'm going to take that tail and pull through that big loop, and I'm going to pull. Now I'm going to give this about 3 or 4 nice ties, and for my friends who are using plastic elastic, you're going to want to do more than what I'm doing. All right, now I'm on my 4th tie here, and the last thing that I need to do is cut off my excess string, and ta-da, you have your very own Evil Eye Candy Cuff. I really love these. I love how simple the pattern is, and there's so many possibilities of colors that you can do for these. Alrighty, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helping anyone who is looking to learn on how to make one of these Evil Eye Candy Cuffs. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, please leave them in the comment section below. Your feedback really does help this channel grow. I'm also going to put my email up here on screen. Sometimes guys like to send me pictures of the things you make when using my tutorials, and I like to put them at the end card of the video. Alrighty, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye-bye!